In the latest, Israel has announced an expansion of its ground operations in Gaza. In response, the Israeli military has released footage of strikes it carried out in the Gaza Strip. The Israeli military reported that it killed dozens of individuals they identified as terrorists. These individuals had reportedly barricaded themselves in buildings and tunnels, attempting to attack the troops. The Israeli military states that it targeted 600 terror-related sites, including weapons depots, anti-tank missile launching positions and hideouts used by the Hamas. And Amrit Pal Singh joins us from Jerusalem. Amrit, what more can you tell us about Israel stepping up its ground assault on Gaza? It's reported that Israeli airstrikes hit areas near Gaza City's Shifa and Al-Quds hospitals.
That's right, Ramesh. The IDF says that it's hit 600 targets in the past 24 hours, up from the 450 that they were reporting yesterday. And they say they've killed dozens of Hamas terrorists or fighters or guerrillas, whatever one wishes to call them. They said they barricaded themselves in tunnels under the Al-Shifa hospital, and their airstrikes, they were backed by airstrikes, UAVs, drones. Eyewitnesses from Gaza say that the Israeli tanks are on the edge of the Gaza city, and the main road to the Gaza city has been cut off. So it is a stepped up military campaign. The Israeli Navy has also done a beach landing on the coastal strip, the coast of the Gaza Strip, and it's basically not taking part directly in the operations, but the idea is to seal off the border as well, the sea border and the sea coast, so that Hamas fighters cannot run away from there in the later stages of the war, and secondly, no aid or weapons cache or ammunition goes inside Gaza from the sea. So there are land forces there, the naval forces are there, and also the Israeli Air Force is continuously pounding targets inside the Gaza Strip doing airstrikes. That's the situation in Gaza, Ramesh.
Amrit, talk us a bit, if you will, about the situation inside Gaza as well. Have telecom services been restored in the enclave?
No, telecom services have not been restored. The only communication that is happening and the videos coming out of there, which the Hamas's information department and their health ministry, the figures that they're putting up are through satellite communication channels, satellite phones, etc. But internet and telecommunications are not working there. Basically, the Israeli army and the Israeli Air Force has hit mobile network and destroyed them completely, so that as you know, information warfare is an integral part of military warfare in the times that we live in. So to block communication, and secondly, when you have visuals coming out and playing on television screens and social media, so you gather a certain amount of you try and influence public opinion outside your territories and try and garner support based on that. But so it looks like the Israeli forces, the IDF, is trying to nip it in the bud and trying to control the information from the other side, though information is continuously trickling in, and that has caused, of course, communication problems to the people living there, the civilians living there. Many of them have families separated because many of them have migrated within Gaza with part of their families stuck in northern Gaza. So all that. I yesterday was at the West Bank in Ramallah, and I met a Gazan who had come from Gaza just before the attacks of 7th October. He said that he came on the 5th of October. He wishes to go back, but because now the war is on, he cannot go back, but he does not have contact with his family once the telecommunications were shut down. So that really is the situation, though they've opened 2 water supply lines, and that too to southern Gaza. If I may add, a small glimmer of hope is that on Sunday, 33 trucks passed into the Gaza Strip. That was more than the 20 agreed per day, but that could be because there were earlier shortfalls. And on Saturday and Friday, very few trucks could pass. So yesterday, 33 trucks passed in total, though the UN says it's a drop in the ocean and far, far less than what is required. In fact, the UN UNICEF chief has said, the UNICEF spokesperson has said that parents there are forced to give salty water, sea water to their children because drinking water is in extremely short supply, or there's a huge scarcity of drinking water there. So that is what it is like in the Gaza Strip. Ramesh?
Indeed. And finally, Amrit, a UN peacekeeper, we are given to understand, was injured in an exchange of fire between Israel and the Hezbollah in Lebanon. The Hezbollah also claims to have shot down an Israeli drone. Now, you've just come back from the Israel-Lebanon border. Does the area still remain as tense as ever?
Yes, absolutely. Hezbollah has stepped up their missile and rocket attacks. While I was there, I could actually see rockets pounding Israeli territory. Though there was no loss of life because the villages along the border and the towns along the border, 5 kilometers inside the Israeli territory from the border with Lebanon, have been evacuated. It has been declared a military zone, a militarized zone. The Israeli military and a few journalists are allowed to a certain point. So they have stepped up. They had promised to step up the campaign, their attacks, if Israel went in with the ground forces. And Israel, as Israel openly proclaims that it is going ahead with the ground operations and the ground assault, and it will widen it further, and it's widening it every day. So Hezbollah has started responding by hitting Syrian targets, including Syrian. They've tried to hit, Israeli targets, not Syrian targets, Israeli targets inside Israel's territory. Meanwhile, Israel is also responding back by firing missiles and drones into Lebanon and trying to hit at the Hezbollah target. The IDF spokesperson said that they were trying to hit at the base of where these rockets and missiles are emanating from. It's the same situation in the Golan Heights, the border with Syria. They have hit Syrian military bases because there were rockets and missiles fired from Syria into the Golan area. So, the neighbors of Israel, the northern neighbors of Israel, Lebanon and Syria have started actively, basically not the Lebanese army per se, but the Hezbollah from Lebanon and other militia and non-state actors from Syria, backed by the Israelis claim the Syrian army, have started hitting them, and they are responding to it in full measure. Ramesh?
Amrit, thank you. Amrit Pal Singh reporting there from Jerusalem. Now, Monday is day 24 of the Israel